Hello, Oracles. Oracle Tim here from Oracle Investments. So, what are we looking at for the next month or so of Tesla stock trading? We've had a great 2 days of running up for the stock. Looking awesome. A lot of you guys who were, concerned last week about it being red, I'm sure are super happy now. So, what can we expect over the next month and prepare for this going into Q4 earnings? So Elon does have one sale left. Don't know if it's going to be the full 934,000 shares because he only has 1.5 million in options to exercise. I honestly don't think it's going to matter at all because we saw the stock on Tuesday scream up 7.5% despite the fact that he sold that day. At this point, I don't think it matters. Whatever goes on in the stock, I think his sales are going to be irrelevant and the stock is going to continue to run next week. I am hearing some noise and chatter about the fact that big money is looking to sell in the first week or so of January to get some cash reserves built up for themselves. This is something we have talked about on this channel also, is utilizing times of green and euphoric runs like we've had the last couple of days to be able to take some profits, put those cash reserves in. Difference is, big money has the ability to move the market. We don't. We just have to kind of learn from it, anticipate, see what we can do. So for those of you who are already in and you're bought in, you're going to be playing it long term anyway. If you're Tesla long term, none of this really should matter to you because if it goes up and comes back a little bit red, it's going to run back up into Q4 earnings and continue going green long into the future. Don't even worry about this. For any of you out there who are thinking maybe you missed your chance of getting into the stock, well, there is a gap between 939 and 963. 9 times out of 10, gaps get filled. Whether this one's going to get filled or not, we don't know. But chances are, if big money is planning on doing a sell-off in the first week or so of January, we may get down and fill that gap before then running up into Q4 earnings. And if we do go red in the first week or so of January, pay close attention to the Shanghai sales numbers that are going to be coming out of there. Their delivery numbers will be coming out and it'll be around that time. So we'll be able to get numbers for December that may affect the stock a little bit. So at that point, we'll have a much better idea as to what is going to happen for Q4 earnings and overall Q4 numbers. We still won't have Fremont, but at least we can put more pieces of the puzzle together. And hopefully in that time frame, we're going to get approvals for Giga Berlin and Giga Austin to begin production, both factories of which are ready to hit the ground running. We know Berlin has a few hundred vehicles already produced, sitting there waiting ready to go. So it's just a matter of getting that approval and getting that the ship started and getting it cranked out. And then from there, we just have the euphoric run and excitement going up into Q4 earnings. Those of us as Tesla fans and investors usually know that Tesla stock will run well past where maybe it should be trading because of the euphoric run and it pulls back. Historically, that happens time and time again. Most recently, as we had talked about, we ran up to 1243 and then we pulled back to just under 900, which was our previous all-time high. So going forward, if we go up to $1,400 or $1,500 in the short term to Q4 earnings and into mid-February, just be prepared because there's a good chance it will probably retrace its steps back to maybe that $1,200 mark. And with the macro environment and interest rates going up, may come back a little bit lower than that. And then don't forget Elon's email that he had put out saying, they're not doing the normal push at the end of the quarter as they used to. And I think he wants to continue this going forward because in doing so, it will help perhaps balance things out. So we're not looking at, a first 2 months of a quarter not doing so well and then a huge spike in the third month. That should help level things off. Perhaps it will also help level the stock price off and make it less volatile. And once we get production numbers out of Shanghai near the end of January, I'll be able to update my spreadsheet and my forecast for what I think production is going to be for 2022. I will update that and my valuation model to account for all these different things. And this way I can show you guys where I see things potentially going in 2022. And now a lot of the things I'm looking forward to on the roadmap on the earnings call is going to be, not so much the short term. Yes, it's important, but we know there's a lot of stuff going on in 2022. Cybertruck getting released, 4680 batteries getting ramped up. We've got the semi-truck potentially getting released dependent upon those 4680 batteries. He may announce a more official release date for the $25,000 vehicle. A lot of these things are awesome to hear about, but what I like to look at is how are these things going to play out in the long term? Because even if the Cybertruck comes out in June, what's the difference between it coming out in June or December? In the short term, it's going to make a difference. It'll swing the stock price a bit, but in the long term, does it really matter? No, not really. So I want to look at these things long term. And if you're investing yourself long term, that's what you need to look at as well, is don't look at the short-term catalysts, go, all right, what does this mean for the company going forward in 5 years from now? And hopefully we'll get some more FSD updates, thinking maybe 11.0 is going to come out. That might be nice. Lots of little different things that could be coming out that could give us maybe some Easter eggs as to what we can expect in the future for maybe 2023 and 2024. So this way we can kind of map out and plan, how much further ahead Tesla is going to be at those points. And it will definitely also be interesting to see how the opening up of Austin and Berlin are going to cut down the lead times on production. For instance, my Model Y is still telling me it's not coming until November of 2022. So when those open up, if I all of a sudden see it get jumped to June, then you can kind of see, all right, we're definitely taking care of demand. And by taking care of demand, that means that we can potentially bring prices down. Don't know. I highly doubt that. We probably won't see prices come down until 2023. But either way, when you have production coming higher, we know we don't have a demand problem. Clearly, we have plenty of demand. We have a production problem. So if we can see those lead times get cut in half, that means that we are able to meet demand a lot better and a lot faster, which means that competition isn't going to affect us anywhere near what these bears think it is. Let me know in the comments below what you're most excited to hear about on the roadmap on the earnings call. For me personally, it is going to be the Cybertruck because I do have one on order and I'm really interested to see what the final design is going to look like, when they're going to start producing it, and all these little things that go along with that. I know I'm not getting mine for a few years, but that's fine. It'd be awesome to see at least where they start, and maybe I'll get like the 3rd generation version with a couple of updates on it. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter. That is the best place you can track me so I can send you guys the latest and greatest information I see. Otherwise, I will see you guys all later. I do have my new setup done. Tried to make this video with it, but couldn't get the volume. It was echoing. I'm working on that. Almost there. Getting close. Otherwise, you guys are awesome. Have a great one. If you do celebrate Christmas, have a Merry Christmas, and we will see you guys all later. Thank you so much.